websites before.
What do you mean you've never been into the websites?
I've never been into the weed websites.
Oh, gotcha.
I just, it's a lot of talk about stuff, and I'm like, I just get high, It's like, it's like, oh, the thing, I mean, I dig weed culture, but I'm not.
Although
I'm not. Yeah,
the home
cliche,
remedy DIY,
tie-dye, I don't know, whatever it is. I don't think I'm that kind of individual, but at the same time, it's like, oh well, there are it's getting so.
There's good options.
Monetized that like people are really paying attention to it. So like it's not just a bunch of people like doing things and saying they felt something. It's like scientifically this shit is gonna fuck you up. So I'll read those recipes and a bunch of fucking stems. What else am I doing with them?
I mean, that's
breaking them up when I have no more weed left.
Yeah,
laying
them end to end in my dirty spliffs when I'm all out.
Yeah,
I've done that.
Like sprinkling.
It's just like tobacco
trying
and stems.
to grind it, like just turn it into something, please.
Hopeful.
It gets weird and strange.
Nah, it's cool though. It's mad. There's a lot of new options, and people are able to like have new ideas and kind of put them out there because it's so legal now. You know what I mean? Before it was like, oh, if you or one of your friends couldn't think of something to do with it, then it was out of your realm of possibility. But now you can go online and be like, oh, this recipe for this. Oh, did you know I could extract this part from this? Oh, did you know that if I did this and then this and this and this and this?
Well, I mean, something I think is a good point about the whole weed industry is that it's always been there. I mean, more the hemp industry, I guess, right now is, I forget some statistic I read, but in one of the websites for one of these companies growing, industrial amounts of hemp now, there's only like 25,000 acres being used in the whole country right now. And that's a lot. They're like, well, this is a lot, and we'll expect a good profit margin and yada yada, and now we know how to store it better, and it's like, okay, cool. And obviously, because people are going to make money off of things, that's people are paying more attention to it. But now it's the people with the power, and so they pass the bills. And either way, it's like they were growing a shit ton more hemp 70 years ago.
Yeah.
And the acreage was like 325,000.
Yeah.
And and they didn't have the machines and the resources and all.
It's crazy to think that.
With what we have now, so that's exciting, but it's only because they're gonna figure out. Everybody wants a slice of the pie.
They figured out how to make money off of it,
which is fine. I want a slice of this pie too.
Me too.
Like, I'm happy getting high, but I'll take a slice because I don't know. Maybe it's I'm trying to feel like I'm justifying something by saying it's going to help the world, and I will feel less shitty about wanting to capitalize. But
that's fine.
It will help the world.
Yo,
I have no interest. I will not invest in something that's going to destroy the world. So it's a double.
But you shouldn't feel
win.
bad. You shouldn't feel bad about making money off of or investing in something that's good. If it was like a gun company and and
I mean,
fossil
I wouldn't
fuels,
do the reading and the research I'm doing because it just wouldn't interest me. Like that's point blank who I've ever been. I'm actually I'm kind of confused as to what sparked my interest so much. Well, no pun intended.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. Obviously there are a lot of things that spark my interest, but that like really has held my interest.
The industry or weed in general?
The industry now.
Yeah, no, it's exciting because we've been smoking trees for a long time, and we've seen it grow, and not necessarily grow because everybody was always smoking weed, but we've seen it open up. You feel me?
Well, I've seen people. I mean, as I adulted, I hang out with people more or older than me more often than I do people my age, and it's funny to see them like. Weed is now like an interest of theirs that it was never before, and and these are some people I wouldn't chill with, but I'm like, oh, you're a weed smoker now,
welcome.
And I've seen their personas change, and I'm like, you're late in the game, but where like this is the persona I've sort of had,
but at least you're now a part of the conversation.
Well,
or is it like bitter, like nah, get the fuck out of here, you're too late?
No, it's just sort of like. guess you could say you're late, 'cause you know, their enthusiasm is like burgeoning.
And it's funny, as the younger people, we see the older heads getting excited about it, and we're just sitting here like, excuse me, we've actually been talking about this for quite some time, and you kept yelling at us to shut up.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Mom, I'm joking.
Dad.
Yeah, facts.
But that's what got me like committed to assuming this was going to go some distance, like past like the California wave, and you know, when you're on one side of the country, just the way of life, and then on the other side, it's like, you know, it's around, but if you're in New York, you're kind of stuck in this purgatory between New Jersey and Massachusetts. And obviously, we can get weed, but we're not living that engulfed weed culture. But when my dad asked me about CBD stuff, I thought, okay, this is the guy that like didn't want anything to do with anything that I really had any interest in, like recreationally.
There was a big divide.
Well, he doesn't smoke or drink or anything, and he's against it because of, you know, how it could affect, and, you know, it's just that he lives in the negative side of things. But then when he saw a positive side in some aspect of all of this, and not positive to the sense of, you know, I'm going to get high again, but that he's using it for
benefits,
like medical purposes, to
wellness,
for ailments and such, and it was recommended from his father. So,
which just goes to show how, you know, how far back it goes.
Grandfather's 95. Yeah, I mean, he's been around since before it was illegal to then becoming illegal to now legal again. Like,
he's just been waiting.
He was, yeah. Well, he's just one of those people that's like, yeah, well, they just, you know, decided not to go forward with something for however long because the powers that be didn't have interest in it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the solar-powered car, the electric car. Yeah. We could be all, it's, you know.
Did your family know you smoked weed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean,
I talk about it pretty openly now, like, through all the stages I've gone through. It's just kind of like I'm going to wear everything on my sleeve.
You and I have certainly smoked a lot of weed in your family's house. For the record, I'm speaking to my brother Nicholas Hunt right now. Fantastic photographer, and I actually grew up with him, went to high school with him, and yeah, it's my New York brother that we grew up smoking trees together.